Good morning, happy Friday. I feel like this microphone's kind of awkward, but if I put it way up here, it kept rubbing against my necklaces. So you guys are just gonna have to deal with a slightly awkward microphone this morning, but I hope everyone is doing well. I felt like my energy was really high yesterday and then kind of all over the place today, and I'm feeling it balance out. I've been making an effort to ground myself this morning and find that stasis so that my energy doesn't just freak out. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, but who do we have in here this morning? I'm excited to see all the people from all over the world. If you're new, I'm Amanda, and we just chat on Friday mornings. Every other Friday, we just come in here and we talk about where we're at. We share wins in the community, ask questions if you want about your mental health or about my personal mental health journey. I'd be happy to answer those. Just please keep in mind that I am not a mental health professional yet. I am simply offering insight based on my own experiences and the experience of others that I've interacted with throughout my journey. With that in mind, if you are having a mental health crisis, please make sure you're reaching out and getting the help you deserve. I always include the suicide hotlines by country in the descriptions of my videos because you very much deserve to heal and to move forward. And we're here every step of the way, good, bad, and crazy. We're here to help. So we have Ben Forrest. I miss my soap opera. Aaron, Marco Warco, John Bubba, Edward. Hello, good morning, everyone. We do have that goal of 250 in pledges here on the stream. So please make sure if you are wanting to donate to that, to use the super chat or super sticker function. It also highlights messages. It can get kind of crazy in here. So it highlights messages to make sure that I see them, but every single dime is going toward my outreach. And it's been so amazing to be able to expand that and do more in the community. I've been really fulfilled and I've been really happy doing that and sharing it with you guys. And I decided after last time that while it's still cold enough, while it's still in the 50s here, if we hit it this time, I will post the video of me jumping into the freezing ass pool. So I will put on my swimsuit and I'll go jump in the freezing pool and post a video for you guys over on the short section. So keep that in mind as we go through this. There, thank you, Ben. $5 already toward the cause. Realize that because YouTube will not let me track it live, I kind of have to do it on my own. So it's always good to have that going. But tell me where you're at. Where are you guys this morning? Where are you guys this week? I had to make a really tough decision that is weighing on me very heavily. And I'm really struggling with in someone that I had to let go of, and I don't deal well with change, and I really struggle with actually severing ties with people. And this happened to be someone that was very, very close to me and that meant a lot to me. And it's been a big challenge. It's been really hard processing that and coming to terms with that, especially after the loss of the other person in my life a few months ago, kind of unexpectedly. It's just processing loss is not my strong suit, and processing two pretty big losses hand in hand is a challenge. And I'm happy that you guys are here for me this week. I'm happy that I'm here and that we can interact and we can chat. For the most part, I've really had to sit with myself and say, what is best for the bigger picture? What's best not only for me, but for this person and anybody else involved with it? And that can be really hard, when you can take it, but when it's hurting the other person, it's hurting other people, including my son. It's affecting them because of the nature of the situation, how I feel when I interact with this person. That rubs off on my son. So that is my mental health challenge this week. So I'm excited to hear where you guys are at. Oh, David says, I'm here for now. They're working on the internet in my neighborhood. David Kaplan, hello. Amanda, yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of my wife's passing, and I'm still dealing with it. We'll never get past it. Thoughts. So thank you for the pledge. I'm sorry for your loss. Obviously, that can always be very challenging. I always say that grief is just the absolute worst thing that we go through as humans. It's so hard. For me, and I've said this in my videos, I actually made a video last Mother's Day about losing my mom and about what I wish I would have known back then And I say back then as in the first few years, because people think, okay, you lose somebody and then you grieve it and you're over it a week later or a month later, even a year later. And that's not how grief works. That's not how that process works in many cases. It can for some people because it's different. But number one, you're right. You're never going to get over it. It's not something that we just get over. And I think having that expectation that we're not going to get over it, nor should we, because that person meant a lot to us. It's more of finding ways to honor that person. It's more of finding ways to connect with that person so you're not feeling as lonely, so you're not feeling as impacted by their passing. I mean, you're going to be impacted, but finding ways to say, okay, what would this person have wanted? What would this person want me to do? How can I honor their memory? How can I use their wisdom to be able to impact the world? Because that's keeping their memory alive. Even just sharing memories is keeping their memory alive. So I always say finding ways to keep their memory alive and having grace with yourself that it's not an easy process and it doesn't need to be an easy process, so long as you're staying safe and you're processing your feelings, those intense feelings of anger and of regrets and of sadness. So long as you're finding healthy ways to process those, that's really what matters. Thank you, Erin. Aw, pledge to your big wins and changes this week. I know it was a rough week, but I'm really proud of you. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I know you have to listen to all the warning outside of this as I go, oh my God, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Oh no, I'm not sure. And I will say that when you make big changes like that, it's okay to second guess yourself. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to just let your mind go kind of crazy. And that's where my mind's been in the past couple of days. It's just going a bit crazy. And that's natural. Change doesn't come easy to us humans in most cases. And I really just wish that when it comes to our thoughts and our mental health, we would have a bit more grace with ourselves, because we constantly have these completely unrealistic expectations about how we should feel and what it should look like and how long our grief should take and all of these things. And if we'd just say, you know what, this grief is going to take a while and that's okay. And it's something that I can manage in as positive a way as possible, but that doesn't mean that it has to look a certain way, right? And it doesn't mean that it has to be on a certain timeline, or especially someone else's timeline. Zionix says, yay, hi, thank you, bonjour. Ça fait longtemps. Je dois regarder tes vidéos ce week-end, en fait. J'ai vu une nouvelle vidéo. A good way to look at your therapy outlet many people need and showing others you're never alone. Thank you. David says, sometimes you need to be selfish and put yourself first, especially severing ties. And maybe it is a bit selfish, but I don't see it that way, because in this particular situation, it was causing physical symptoms to the other person as well. It was causing them pain as well to hold on to this friendship that just wasn't serving either of us. And there were so many great traits to it, but you have to at one point say, okay, even if this person is bringing all of these good things to my life, if they're doing something, or if there's something about our interaction, it's not even about what they're doing, if there's something about our interaction that is bringing me frequent mental anguish, then those good things aren't going to outweigh that, And it doesn't mean that either person's a bad person, or they're not doing their best, or that they aren't a great friend. It's just sometimes you're trying to fit a square into a circle, and it's just not meant to be. And the more you try and force it, the more friction there is, the more pain there's going to be in the long run. So you kind of have to look at the bigger picture when it comes to things like this as well. And I always say, we think of these things as permanent, and yes, my intention is for it to be permanent, but if somewhere down the road things changed and there was a shift, in that person or in myself or in the dynamic, then it's not completely out of the realm of possibility to reconsider later. But you can't really have that expectation, but you can be open to the thought of this doesn't have to be permanent if later down the road circumstances changed. Most cases they don't, but sometimes they do. David says, I find if I struggle on a decision, I flip a coin. Okay, Harvey. Then I find I am hoping for a specific side to land face up. Then I know what I want. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That makes me think of, oh, I don't want to bring that up. There's an episode of Friends that's kind of like that, though. Forrest says, anyone else have spring break right now? No, our spring break just happened a couple of weeks ago. Metal Mark says, careful with shrinkage in cold water, but that might be a male thing. No, some things grow for us in cold water. Yin 256 says, I was in the shooting 2 years ago at a bar trying to save the guy. He bled out in front of my eyes, needed 4 months of therapy till this day, never been back to that bar, and I have anxiety attacks. Well, of course you do, because your brain experienced something incredibly traumatic. And I think that it's beautiful, that you were there and you're probably that guy's angel. Imagine that's the last thing he got to experience, was love and compassion. And that's a beautiful gift in of itself. And it is tragic that you weren't able to save him, but you still gave him a great gift in the end. And as far as the therapy, that's great. That's great that you realized that you needed that you utilized a skill to help yourself move forward. As far as anxiety attacks, even I still have them sometimes, not as frequently as I used to. But there's a lot of things that can help manage anxiety attacks, from avoiding certain foods to listening to certain tracks and mantras and stuff. There's a lot of things that can be done to manage anxiety attacks. And I made a couple of videos about it. And I made a guided meditation for anxiety and panic attacks that I utilized when I was having them. It's what I did for myself when I was having them. So if someone can post the link to that here in the chat, so that that is available, so that's readily available, I'd really appreciate it. Forrest says meditation and affirmations helped anxiety. Yeah, they helped me a lot. And it has to be someone I resonate with. And that's not saying that the other content isn't good, but I have to resonate with that person's energy. And I know that sounds really hippie woo-woo, but there's certain meditations that I'll listen to, and the person's voice is, I just don't enjoy the cadence of it, and it doesn't relax me, because I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, this person is so shrill, or this person's voice is so deep, and it's kind of getting me excited, and that's not where I want to go when I'm meditating. So just finding something that works for you and kind of trying different things. I do a lot of guided meditation. I do a lot of guided hypnosis and things like that to help with anxiety, and it makes a big difference. But I'm also very careful about the things that I consume. I can't consume a lot of sugar. I don't consume caffeine, except those magic mind shots, but those are matcha and they're very low dose. But things like that are paramount. Just the things you're eating and what you're doing when you have an anxiety, when you start feeling those anxiety symptoms and you have that attack coming on. There are things that you can do, whether it's breathing, whether I remember once I had a professor that was talking to me, and I was explaining anxiety to him, and I said, it's just all this energy that is pent up in me, and I feel like I can't get it out. And he said, well, go do something to get it out. And it seems simple, but it was really brilliant, because anxiety really is this extra energy, this pent up energy. And if we can find a way to get it out, whether that be writing it out, or going for a walk, or running it out, sweating it out, we have to find a way to move that energy. That's what anxiety is trapped energy, and we have to find a way to move that energy. Thanks, David, for posting that link. Oh, Aviation Fan says, time zones make it difficult to catch these streams. It's about 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm sorry. Thank you for being here for us, but I'm sorry that it's very early there. It is good to see you back, though. What group are you trying to join, Aviation Fan, that you're afraid of getting denied for? Yin 256 says, what sucks is how do you get over being in a bar shooting and someone dying in front of you? Because people tell me Sometimes you just need to get over it. What those people don't understand trauma and PTSD and grief and the complex feelings that come along with it. And I'm sorry that you've experienced ignorance at the hands of people who just don't understand. But I'm here to tell you that that's not something you just get over. That's not something that you just turn off. Now, I would argue that learning to, go on with your life in a way that honors lives lost. So we're not allowing, this tragedy to have power over even more people. That's the way I think of it, is if you witness something tragic like that, or you lose somebody in some way, in a tragic way, say a shooting, or even if it's a tragedy that doesn't involve death, like sexual assault, and someone takes that from you, if you continue to just shut your life off, so in the case of this shooting, if you shut your life off, then that shooter took you out too. That shooter is having more and more power over the situation, as opposed to, you know what, you have every right to grieve for as long as you need to. And as long, again, as I said before, as long as you're finding healthy ways to process through that grief, that's all that matters. As long as you're finding ways to take care of yourself, and you're finding ways that work for you to manage those anxiety attacks when they come, that's what matters. And I will just say it, screw people that tell you just need to get over things, because they have no idea. And it's not their fault, it's not their fault. That's kind of the culture that we're raised in, is, okay, well, I know that, like with my mom, when my dad passed away, I know you've been married for 21 years, but we're going to give you 3 days bereavement. What? It's insane how little respect we have for bereavement and grief in this society. And that's another thing that I hope to move in the right direction with my outreach and stuff, is reminding people that it's okay, even if it's years later, to be struggling with it, because we're never meant to witness things like that. So our brain has a really hard time processing it. And there is EMDR. I would suggest looking into other forms of therapy if the type of therapy that you were going through wasn't effective for you. Maybe finding a support group for people who have witnessed things for PTSD, or people who have witnessed situations like that, whether online or in person. I think just talking to other people who have been through it, that have managed to find some semblance of normal in their lives is really prudent. Because if all you're hearing are these ignorant people that are saying you need to get over it, then that's the tape that's going to get stuck in your head. And trust me, once tapes get stuck in your head, they're very annoying to override. It's doable, but they're very annoying to override. Oh, Rodrigo's here from Brazil. I love it. Yes, I agree with David in regards to Krista Michelle Ortloff. I am glad to see that Krista is still here, and we appreciate you. Aviation fan says, I appreciate that, because my heart rate goes absolutely stupid when it comes to panic attacks. Oh yeah, the first time I ever had a panic attack, I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack, and it was shortly after my mom passed away of a heart attack. So I thought I was dying. And in the video, if you listen to it, that's part of the guided meditation that I'm doing, is reminding you that your body's not failing you. You have that fight or flight kicking in, but you're safe. And I literally made this recording for myself originally, because when I was in my rational state of mind, it's okay, what would I want to hear when I'm in that panic state of mind? What do I need to hear? And I made this video based on what I personally needed to hear. So I hope that it helps you get through your next one. Please let me know in the comment of that video if it does end up helping you, if you utilize that and it ends up helping you. So I want to get to the win. I'm sorry, not the win, the good news. We didn't do our good news yet. So I always like to share a good news story from around the world. I know we're so bombarded with bad news stories and stressful news stories. I'm actually doing a research paper right now for school on the correlation between political media and mental health. So if you are interested in being part of that study, the closeoff day is actually today. But if you email me after this, I will send you the information so you can get into it. And then I'll be sending out all the details tonight on how to get started. So I'm very excited about that. It's not super time consuming, but I think it will really help shine some light on this connection. But without further ado, here's the good news for the week. Alongside math and reading, schools in Germany are now teaching happiness. I've been saying for so long, I've been saying for so long that we need this, that I literally made my whole happiness boost course because I said, we're not teaching people how to be happy. We're not teaching people how to manage their mental health. So when I saw this, I lit up like a Christmas tree. With gratitude necklaces and gardens of emotions, mental well-being classes help young people with anxiety and confidence. The children at the elementary school in Germany are planting a garden of emotions. One by one, they step up to the front of their class, in their hand a yellow or orange paper flower on which they have written what made them joyful this morning. I got to snuggle with my dog. A young girl says, I found a coin on the street, a boy wrote on his note. Another says, my dad cuddled with me this morning. Sounds an awful lot like the Snap Cup. The kid, and I just want to point out, by the way, you know what? I'll wait. The kids are collecting small and big moments of happiness, both literally and figuratively. Science shows that savoring moments of happiness actually makes us happier. Since last November, 16 elementary schools in the small town of have been holding the happiness course once a week, taught by teacher trainees from the Technical University of The university is also assessing the impact of the course. The needs are urgent. An international study shows a drastic increase in depression, anxiety, and persistent frustration among youth compared to pre-pandemic 2019. More than a third of U.S. students reported in 2021 that they experienced poor mental health during the pandemic, and 44% described themselves as persistently sad or hopeless. According to the CDC's most recent youth risk behavior survey across the U.S., girls are particularly at risk. 60% of females students experienced persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness in 2021, and nearly 2.5% had made a suicide plan. Even before the pandemic, mental health was getting worse among high school students, according to prior CDC data. So I think this is an excellent step in the right direction, and I hope that the US starts to adapt this, and I'd love to be part of helping them develop a course for that, because I already have one. And if you want to take the free 5-day challenge, by the way, link is in the description, but just go to happinessboost.life and you can take the free 5-day challenge that helps you learn more about happiness and how to be happier. But I think that the first part has really caught me, because so frequently when we do our wins for the community, people will say, I have no win, or I have nothing. I have nothing right now. And I think I just got to snuggle with my dog today is a great one. I found a coin. I will just be happy when there's little, and I know this is actually probably a weed, but there's these little itty bitty teeny tiny yellow flowers that are growing in the grass out in my front yard in certain parts of my campus. And I'll just stop and get very excited about these little tiny yellow flowers. So I really liked that one as well, the finding the coin. Or my dad cuddled with me this morning. Did you get to spend time with someone who makes you feel joyful, even for that second? It's not like they have to make your whole day amazing, but did you have someone smile at you and it made you feel good? Or did you have someone compliment something and that made you feel good? Or maybe you just got to spend a few minutes talking to a friend and that made you feel good. When it comes to mental health wins, I swear I'm going to put on there that I'm going to start charging people. I'm going to charge you $1 every time you say you don't have a win. I think that if we'd start looking for the smaller things, as opposed to saying, well, I completely healed my mental health this week and it's fantastic and I got off my medication and I'm never going to need therapy again. Okay, that's an awesome win. Big snaps if that's you. But also just, you know what? I talked myself through an anxiety attack today. Great win. If it's just, I took a minute and watched the sunset. I took a few minutes this evening and I watched the sunset and it grounded me. That's a win. Those are as huge as I completely cured myself of my depression symptoms and stuff, because it's like a bank. It's like a happiness bank. And I talk about that in the course. It's like a bank. You have to bank these moments so that when other things happen, you've built up some money in there, because if you're just never looking at the bright side ever, if you're never trying to find those little moments and you're just doing this all day on your phone and you're closing yourself off to opportunities, then when even the smallest thing happens, it's going to completely set you into a spiral because you haven't made deposits into your happiness bank. Oh, Mike says, I'm out of here. Sorry to bug you all. Bye, Amanda. No, I know, but you're not bugging me at all. I just can't read all the messages because there's so many. Mike says, it's part of the mental aspects because I have a mental condition. Us together can help each other. You're absolutely right. We very much can. We very much can help each other. Aviation fan says, I'm just going to shut up so I don't annoy everyone. Guys, you're not annoying. You're not being a burden. You're not bothering me. I opened the floor up for you guys to communicate and talk, and I try really hard to catch as many messages as I can. But while I'm answering one question, I'm talking about one thing. It kind of goes crazy in the chat. So it can be very, very difficult. Music is my lifeline on mental health forces. Yep. I don't think I would have made it without Linkin Park. I know I wouldn't have made it without Linkin Park. Sophie Palmer Duran says, I was emotionally abused, manipulated by a gym coach from grade K to 3, had 1 or 2 SA, and witnessed my dad's health decline all before I was 18. That is a lot. And you know what? I am proud of you for fighting and still being here, because that's a lot to process. And that would be difficult for any person to process. So I'm very proud of you for being able to find the strength to keep pushing forward. And it's like I was saying before, don't give him power. Don't continue to give him power by giving up or by engaging in destructive behavior. Because as a survivor myself, I'm a sexual assault survivor myself. I finally came to realize, okay, if I'm wallowing in these destructive behaviors, or I'm allowing him in any way, shape, or form to impede on my life and the things that I do and the things that bring me joy, then I'm still stuck there in that car. It's just happening to me over and over and over. And he still has the power. And there was a point in my life, actually, it was about the time I shot for Playboy. I just said, you don't have power over my body anymore. You don't have power over my mind anymore. The only time I will ever think of you is when I'm watching dead meat kill counts here on YouTube. That's the only time I'm ever going to think about that guy. So take your power. Take your power. You deserve your power back. And I just want to reiterate that I'm very proud of you. Aviation fan says, just jealousy and frustration. I just worry about being judged, but I just wish I could be a female or have the ability to be feminine, get all dolled up and be happy and be myself, but I can't. Why can't you? If that's what you want to do and that's what's going to bring you joy, I think you can. Even if you're not ready to do that in a public setting or do that around other people, there's definitely times where you can just go and be yourself just in private, just to kind of connect with yourself in that way. I mean, there's times where I make believe about certain things just to connect with myself in that way, to say this is who I want to see myself as right now, and I might not be ready to show this to other people. I think you and Krista will actually get along a lot, because Krista has been opening up a lot more about her experience and about her exploring and whatnot with that. So I think you guys will connect very well. Matthew Azaria says, I base my mental health wins around my listening to songs that help me get release, such the one I did on the way over here. David says, making someone else smile is a win. Knowing you made someone happy feels great. It is. I usually love to see people smile. Because it makes me feel like it makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel confident and good about myself because I had the power to change that person's moment, But yeah, absolutely a win. So I think from now on, when I post the wins post in the community, I'm going to, number one, say there's a $5 fine for whining. I'm just kidding. There's a $5 fine if you say you don't have any wins. But I'm also going to give some examples of just simple things, because I know when you're in that dark place, it can be very difficult to see the possibility, or it can be very difficult to connect with those little things. I actually, in my happiness boost course, I have a whole gratitude list that I broke into different sections. So I share my gratitude list with students, and it's 9 pages long. And look, this is a girl who couldn't see anything good in her life, to the point of where she was going to jump and end it. Couldn't see anything good. And Granted, some of them are the kind of crazy ones, like I met Mike Shinoda, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity because it helped me go into recovery. But there are so many other little things in there, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg of my gratitude list and my full this full spectrum of my gratitude. But it's a lot of the things that I kind of revert to when I'm needing to think of something to be grateful for. That 9 pages is something that I revert to. Aviation fan says, this is going to sound creepy no matter how I word it, but there's just something about wearing female clothes and exploring my inner feminine side that makes me happy, and it feels so natural to me. Why? You know what? I don't think it's creepy at all. If that's what makes you happy, then that's what makes you happy. And sometimes our clothes are just comfier. we have textures and fabrics that just feel better against the body. I feel bad for guys sometimes that all you ever get is the 100% cotton t-shirts, and it's not really comfortable in the long term. So I feel like there's just that aspect of it. But if you're not, connecting with that part of yourself, if you just feel this powerful feminine energy and you're not finding a way to express that, then it can start causing a lot of anxiety for you, because you should be expressing yourself in whatever way feels good for you. And I can't tell you why that is for you. I can't tell you why it feels natural to you, but I really encourage you to explore it in whatever way feels right for you, in whatever way you're ready for. Yes says, yes, I love it. Yes. Yes says, Tuesday marks 3 years of my anniversary of my attempt, and I'm proud to tell you all there's been 0 attempts. I'm literally crying right now. Think of how I held on through all of the hell I faced. I'm giving you a big hug. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. And you have held on. And when you have a bad day again, remember all that you've held on through. Remember all that you've gotten through and all that you've accomplished in that journey of how far you've come. Remind yourself of that. As a matter of fact, write yourself a letter. So when you're in that dark place, you can read that letter. Dark days come. They come for all of us. You can read that letter. That actually meant a lot to me. I had a friend who did that for me. She just wrote me a letter saying, hey, I know you're going to have bad days, and I want you to read this when you feel like nobody cares about you and nobody loves you. And that meant the absolute world to me. That was one of the most special things I've ever had, just because your mind can try to take over, and it can be very hard to fight it and to remember otherwise. So when my shadow kicks in, it's very hard for me to change my thought process, because she starts throwing these thoughts at me. And I've learned to at least kind of put those thoughts on trial and not accept them as absolute truth. But I remember back in the beginning, it wasn't like that. Every thought she threw at me was immediately absolute truth, whether there was evidence for it or not. And now I just kind of put those thoughts on trial. I don't know if I said thank you, David, for the pledge, but thank you, David, for the pledge. We're getting there. We're at 70 out of 250. So I don't think that you guys want to see me in a bathing suit bad enough. I don't think you want to see me freeze my butt off bad enough for the cause here. But like I said, the pledges and stuff do go toward the outreach, and we've helped veterans, and we helped an elderly lady have a birthday. And I've been big on finding people who are needing therapy or who are needing help paying for their medications, who can't, and connecting with those people and helping them through the pledges here in the stream. So being able to pay for therapy or online therapy, or being able to cover the cost of their medications. I think that's a beautiful thing that the channel can do, and I'm hoping to expand that more and more as we grow. We're about to hit 50,000. I think we're going to hit 50,000 in April for sure. I think we'll probably hit it by mid-April. So that is exciting, and I'm planning. What do I do? What do I do to celebrate? What should we do to celebrate? So that's going to be huge. Sophie Palmer Duran says, after all these years, when I do walk, say on a track, I can sense there's someone there. I can almost feel his touch on my shoulder as well. That is beautiful. Yes, James says 50K. Here we go. Union 256 says, my 2023 resolute is to come out more. And I went to a drag show last month, and I'm going to another one tomorrow. I hope you enjoy. I hope it is fabulous. You know what? Well, I'm going to give snaps to all the people that have been sharing their wins. We're going to do our snap cup. For those of you that are new, it's inspired by Legally Blonde too. It's just a way of sharing some warm fuzzies in the community, sharing our wins because we all have them. It comes with the song Snap cup time, gather ye round, friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. I'm hoping one day that Reese Witherspoon just stumbles in here and does the snap cup song with us. I think that would be really awesome, and in tribute to Legally Blonde. Let's see. Oh, Krista Michelle Ortloff is here. I've been using sites like TikTok to come out to the world as a recently realized trans woman and actually found love and support. I feel like this is the theme, is just being authentic to ourselves today, right? So snaps to Krista. I'm very happy to see you realizing who you are. And I'm really happy to see someone using TikTok for good, not using it to flame each other and just doom scroll and fuel addiction. Aw, thank you, Aaron. Aaron pledged for Edward, since Edward loves the Snap Cup song so much, guys. I think I'm just going to send him recordings of me singing the Snap Cup song because he loves it so much. Thank you, Aaron, for pledging for Edward as well. Clark Kent. Clark Kent says, my doctor said I was misdiagnosed, which took me by surprise because I was doing so well, and now I'm feeling like all that progress was for nothing. At first I was bipolar 1, but now I'm schizoaffective or something. I got this, laugh out loud. It's only a diagnosis. It's not me. Truth. If I go crazy, would you still call me Superman? I love that because of the Clark Kent. I see what you did there. But yes, to answer your question, I just want y'all to remember everything y'all accomplished and keep that fighting mentality because you're never down and out. You can get back up. Stay up, y'all. You got this. I believe in you. Big snaps to you, Superman. Big snaps to you. You can't fool me with those glasses. I could never be fooled with those glasses. I like how the comment in the beginning, it took me by surprise and I felt like all my progress was for nothing, and I completely understand why you felt that way because these labels do in some way, I felt like mine guided me in a way, not when I was a teenager because they did the same thing to me. It was bipolar and the manic depressive and generalized anxiety, and it was always something different. And finally, I had several in a row settle on borderline personality disorder, or BPD, which actually makes sense. And when I was able to start researching that and finding out what that meant and what some of the skills were I could use to manage that, it really helped me. Here's the thing, is it doesn't really matter what you have. If the skills you are using are helping you, or the medication that you're taking is helping you, then that's still progress. That doesn't undo the progress just because they changed the name of it in your folder. Hold on to that progress and keep moving forward in whatever way works for you. And keep in mind that doctors don't know everything. They're making educated guesses at best on what they think is the situation. So make sure that you're being vocal, communicating with your professional so that you are getting the treatment that is going to be most effective for you. Meg, thank you so much. I just got here, but if it's to make Miss Amanda sing, I'll pledge. P.S. My daughter is still doing better every day. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you and your family. Here's the thing is, and this is something I've realized is going to be a real challenge as the community grows, is when somebody tells me, in Mick's case, his daughter was shot. He shared that here in the community. Mick tells me something like that, and I'm immediately, oh my gosh, because now you're my friend. Like I've connected to you guys. So when something bad happens, I'm, oh my gosh, how do I help? I don't know what to do. I want to be supportive, and I want to love you, and I want to take care of you and be here for you. And I'm trying to, produce content that can kind of be there in my absence because I can't be here for 50,000 people simultaneously. I don't think you want me to clone myself 50,000 times. Can you imagine 50,000 of me, Aaron? David? Yeah, imagine that. I mean, I suppose we'd get a lot of good things done, but I'd also be driving a lot of people crazy. Oh, Edwards, have to get back to work. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a week full of wins. Happy Easter, Passover to all who celebrate. Much love to the pack. Much love back to you. Jake Smith says, my win for the week is getting to celebrate Easter with my girlfriend Kim and trying to get together with her family. It makes me nervous a bit because her family is a bit political, and I want to avoid politics at all costs. Well, snaps to you for finding the the positivity in the situation, for, allowing that excitement to still be there, even if there is that part of dread. My approach for the situation, because I have some people in my life that really just love to talk politics, and for the most part, I don't, is I will find good news stories, good things that certain politicians have done, or just something positive, literally anything positive. So when I'm contributing back to the conversation, I'm not shutting them down. I'm not trying to say I don't want to talk about politics, but having something positive to contribute to the conversation. And I don't really otherwise look into a lot of news or things like that. But there are ways to talk about politics in a non-confrontational way. And that's the key, is trying to shift the conversation a little bit just so it's less confrontational. You can't stop them from talking about politics, but you can, in many cases, influence them to at least be a bit more positive, a bit less toxic about it. Ben M says, just ticked off 2 goals for the week. Took a long walk in the woods, got a sweat going, spent quality time with the minion, and bonus, spotted a northern flicker. I'm going to give you snaps, but I'm so jealous of you right now. I wish I lived in a place where I got those every now and then. We can barely see the night sky. So I'm very happy for you that you got to witness that, and that you took that walk and kicked up the sweat, kicked up those endorphins, all those feel-good chemical snaps for you for being able to accomplish that. I actually need to go on a run after this, or I'm not going to. It was a goal for the last couple days. I need to get out and I need to do a run, and I just don't want to do it, so I know I need to do it. Hi, Tyler. Forrest, I know you're here. My mental health goal is to listen to positive affirmations to alleviate my self-esteem issues, and exercise to improve my body image helps depression a lot. Big snaps to you for finding those skills to help yourself. They absolutely do. They're big for me as well. I listen to affirmations by Leora Alexandra on YouTube. I really resonate with her energy, her personality, her cadence. So I really like her affirmations. I have created a few affirmation videos here on the video myself, or on the channel myself. And yeah, exercise is huge. As I'm saying, I need to go run, and I'm going to do a restore yoga class tomorrow, but exercise is huge. And I think part of it's obviously the chemicals and stuff that it's releasing. Part of it's the self-esteem that I accomplished this, I did this. And I think part of it's just moving some of that anxious energy that we were talking about. I think there's so many aspects as to why exercise and just moving your body can help you with your mental health. So just to check in, we are at 140. So we have another 110 to go before we hit our goal for today, and I will post that video. And of course, let you guys know what I'm doing with the pledges during the next stream. I'll probably going to start posting that over in the community as well. The Warrior Poet says, having the chance for a second time to help someone really made me feel good this past week. This community means a lot to me. You mean a lot to us too. Given as I don't really have much else in my life at the moment, and this month is not a happy month for me, as it's a grim reminder of a lot of bad things that's happened in my life. So since I felt robbed of a sense of purpose for many years, maybe this can be a way of taking some of that back. Maybe this is my purpose. Maybe the answer is right in front of me if I only know where to look. Love you all. We love you too. I'm so happy that you feel connected. And, I don't even think I really thought of that the channel is helping give people a purpose as well. I think of, okay, it's providing resources for people who are struggling, but I think it's helping other people, maybe who aren't even necessarily struggling or in a dark place, but who are just feeling that sense of purpose from being able to help each other, whether it's helping someone who's still in that dark and we're pulling them out, or we're sitting down next to them and listening to them. Guys, this community has blown up to be more than I ever could have imagined it could be. Just how we help each other and we support each other and we love each other. And we've been really good at keeping the toxicity and negativity to a minimum. We've been really good about cultivating a really loving, positive environment. And I appreciate that so much. Oh, Iris, I hope I'm saying that right. Ron says, how negative would you consider dissociation to be? If you can consciously switch between states, couldn't it be a means of dealing with anxieties? I'm actually glad you brought that up, because not a lot of people talk about that. When people mention dissociation or they talk about having dissociation experiences, and it is something I've experienced quite extensively actually, they never really talk about the positive side of it. Now, if you can learn to dissociate at will, if you can learn to kind of not dissociate as much as disconnect from yourself, or just actually really go more into yourself. So being very present, but saying, okay, the things around me don't have to affect me right now. I think that's part of what dissociating is having a different interaction with your environment, having a different outlook on your environment. I think if we can harness that, then absolutely, I don't think it has to be negative. There's times where I know I'm going to be in a really uncomfortable, perhaps panic inducing, perhaps emotional situation where I will purposefully kind of dissociate. And I don't even know how I do it. I just have found a way to dissociate uh, in a way and be able to cope with that, to deal with that situation. So I think dissociating when it's out of your control and you're really struggling to kind of put a leash on it can be really frightening, because you're going, oh my gosh, I don't know where I'm at, or everything looks foreign to me, like my own house looks foreign to me. Things like that can be frightening. And again, it goes back to that's something that happens to me when I have a panic attack. So learning how to breathe through that panic attack and be okay with the discomfort, with the feelings that are coming up, with the symptoms that are coming up is very, very helpful. So I think that dissociation can be negative or positive. It really just depends on how you're harnessing it. Adam West. So we have Adam West and we have Clark Kent. So I guess we're having some kind of crossover here today in the chat. Adam West says, "Dear sweet Amanda, this week has been testing, very much like every week lately. Money coming in, money going out, more out than in it seems. Killing myself to work my day job and trying to keep my business above water. And for what? Trying to live up to what Michelle told me I was capable of, what Stacy said I could do because of my tenacity and intelligence. You, as a fellow mental health sufferer, I'm sure you've heard of imposter syndrome." Yes, I have. "I feel no matter how far I come or get ahead, it's just a fraud. I'm trying nonetheless. I just wish I had someone to share in my little victories." That's why we're here. That's why the community is here and the Snap Cup is here, to make it clear for people not experiencing what I'm dealing with. Imagine winning the lottery or finding the biggest gold strike in history, but you're the only person on earth. Sure, you own everything, but it's worthless. It's actually a really good analogy. Like the line from the Johnny Horton song, "North to Alaska, I tried all the gold buried in this land for one small band of gold to put on sweet little Jenny's hand. Money helps, but it's not everything." You're right, it's not. And I think that it, first of all, snaps to you. I always want to start with the snaps. Snaps to you for recognizing what's going on, for being able to keep fighting, keep trying. Sometimes what we try at first doesn't work, and we have to maybe try again, because maybe it didn't work the first time just because of extraneous variables. But oh my god, I'm going all research class. But maybe it didn't work for a very specific reason. But I just completely, oh my gosh, lost my train of thought. I just had a human moment. Okay, so maybe the trying didn't work the first time for a specific reason. Maybe you have to try something else. Maybe you have to try and ask for help. Maybe you have to try it in a different way. There's always different ways to try, and I think that that's really important. I think that that's really what's important, is that you keep trying, but you're trying in different ways. And sometimes it's just trying a different combination of things, because that was it for me. I tried most of the things that had eventually brought me to my healing, where I'm at now, but I hadn't tried them in conjunction with each other. I do one thing and then go, oh, that didn't fix me. And then I jump to the next thing. But yeah, I think that you need to know you're welcome to share your victories here. That's what we're here for. But no, you don't have to live up to what anybody else told you you were capable of. The only thing you have to live up to is your own expectations and your own identity, your own dreams. Ben, thank you so much. Ben M says, piggybacking, this space acknowledges our negative feelings and experiences without causing us to dwell on them, that we are separate from those things, that shadows only obscure the light. Join us. I love how Ben ends with join us. Like, come to our space, my darlings. I love it. But yeah, I agree that I think just giving people an opportunity to say, hey, I'm not feeling fantastic right now. I'm not feeling great. Here's what I'm going through. Here's what I'm experiencing. Have you experienced that? What did you do when you were going through that? That's why I do these chats. It's just because, I mean, I'm not a professional, but to be honest, I think sometimes we need to hear from somebody who's not a professional, who's been in our shoes and who's gone through it, to get the insight of, okay, what did you do to deal with it? Because I'm all Saul Goodman here. What did you do to deal with it? Because there's the medical aspect, there's the textbook aspect, and those things do help. But there's certain little tips and tricks that us who have lived it can give that aren't in those textbooks. David says, I had a blonde moment. Yes, I did. Convicted says, some girl I worked with tried ghosting me because she wanted to see my reaction. In the past, I would have called her out and embarrassed her, and said when she tried to ask me something, I just said, I don't believe in ghosts. And walked away. I think she's still standing there trying to figure it out. I didn't let her bring me down. I didn't let it affect me. I moved forward and didn't look back. In the past, I would have dwelled on it and tried to figure out what I did wrong and blame myself and get depressed. Instead, I went to a saying I love. God removes certain people from your life because he hears conversations that you don't, snaps to you for your growth, snaps for you for being able to do something that was difficult, and for acknowledging your change, acknowledging that it took strength to do that. And it took a lot of courage to be able to make that change and not just resort back to what we're used to. And we do tend to do that. We can resort back to behaviors we're used to. I love that I don't believe in ghosts. That's really funny, but I didn't let her bring me down. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Moving, I won't stop now. Yeah, every now and then you have to listen to me break down into song. But yes, big snaps for you. And I agree. Sometimes you have to let certain people go, and certain people are going to leave your life, and it devastates us. It crushes us. But in the long run, we don't see the whole picture. We don't see below the surface. So you have this huge iceberg. You see the very tip, but you're not seeing the rest of it. And sometimes it really is for the better in so many ways. Do I have, oh, that's all the wins. If you guys want to share some wins here, I would be happy to read some of your wins and give you some snaps here as well. The day you find out that you cannot please everyone is priceless, nor do you need to try in any way, shape, or form. That's priceless. It's just saying, I want to help people, but I don't really care if I please people. That's just not my interest anymore. I really don't care. I really don't care if everyone's happy with my decisions. And I've realized, so I want to share a couple little wins. I did have to cut ties in that relationship. That was really hard, but I think it was what was best for everyone involved. So that's one of my wins. I hate to call it a win because I feel like I'm losing so much, but it's a mental health win because I believe that it's best for my mental health. But there was just a couple little things this week. Like I'd gotten a gel manicure last week, and guys, I know this could be a bit lost on you, but I hope that you can see the underlying message of the story. So I got a gel manicure last week, and usually they're supposed to last about a month, right? And half of them just started peeling off and chipping really bad. And I thought, this is ridiculous. You pay a decent amount for these, or your boyfriend pays a decent amount for these. And it just frustrated me so bad because when they start chipping, it actually kind of sets off an OCD in my head, and I'm, oh my gosh, now I just So it gives me confidence when my nails are done and I feel like I'm presenting myself well to the world. It's just a girl thing, all right? Don't get all the way off my back about that. But old me would have just said, okay, it is what it is, and there's not anything I can do about it. But I went back to the place and I said, hey, I got these done less than a week ago, and the 5 of them have already completely just chipped all to heck. And the lady was really nice and understanding and fixed them for me. She fixed, like, literally half my nails were peeled off, and she fixed it for me. And I feel better now because they're pretty and fabulous and sparkly. But I felt good because I stood up for myself, because I didn't just let it happen. I didn't just sit on the sidelines and say, okay, I felt almost taken advantage of in a weird way, but I'm just gonna let it happen. No, that was the catalyst for what made me end this friendship as well. Was I just felt like the way that that person was communicating to me wasn't acceptable. I set my boundaries. I felt like they weren't respecting my boundaries, and I'm not saying that I didn't do a lot, because I did do things that weren't conducive to an optimal friendship, but I felt like we couldn't seem to respect each other's boundaries. We couldn't seem to have positive communication with each other. Like, I'm sure that person does great with other people, and I know I do great with other people. I don't really have problems communicating with other people, but there's just something about the combination of us that was not working. And I had to stand up for myself. It came to a point where I had to say, I don't deserve this, and you don't deserve this, and let's move on. Let's just move on in love. And that's something else that I wish people would really understand, is that you can love somebody from afar. When you let somebody go, when you remove a person from your life, it doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. It doesn't mean that you don't care about them. It doesn't mean that they aren't important to you. It means that you also care about yourself, and maybe that other person, if they're feeling negative aspects from the interaction as well. I remember a scene in Eat, Pray, Love where I think it was her ex-husband, or maybe her husband that she was leaving, was saying, but I love you. And she's saying, okay, love me. And she was having to let him go so she could move forward on her own journey. And I think that that's really important. Let me do a count here. So my thing just glitched. I feel like that's not right. I feel like that is not right at all. But we are winding down, so I want to make sure that we're getting in last comments, last snaps, last pledges, all that good jazz, so we can really move forward here. Okay, I'm just going to go over here because there was something wrong with my word processing program. Can't have that. Metalmark says, as long as you take losing as a learning experience for future reference. I feel like we have a kind of skewed idea of what winning and losing is as well, because we feel like if something didn't work out, then we lost, then we were wrong, then there's just something wrong with us. And that's not the case at all. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think that like in the case of, I actually had a friend, we were talking about this because he was divorced and I got divorced, and he was saying, it's not that my marriage failed, it's that it came to its completion. It came to the end of its story, and there weren't any other chapters to be written. And I thought that that was really a beautiful way of thinking about it, is there just weren't any other chapters to be written, and that's okay. Okay. That can't be right. So I think we are at 165. Oh, yes. So if you guys don't want to see me, am I old? Is that why you don't want to see me in a bathing suit anymore? Am I just too old for you? So yeah, we have a few more minutes here to get in the last minute pledges, last minute snaps. I'm excited. I'm excited for a lot of things next week. A lot of things. I think next week is going to be pretty big, pretty awesome. And I wish that we could just say that more often, that it's okay to just say, you know what, this week is going to be fabulous for no other reason than just I have so many things to be grateful for and so many opportunities to do things that I've been wanting to do, you know? So yes, I think who is affirming that this week is going to be amazing? Oh, thank you, Mick. We'll get you into the running here. Oh my gosh, we're so close. We're at 185 out of 250. We're so close. Oh, Amish says, hey, Amanda, how can I treat my depression about my career? I just passed high school. Well, I am curious what thoughts specifically are coming up for you, because that makes all the difference of the advice I would give, because some people after high school, they're feeling anxiety about what do I do next, or they feel this pressure of I need to make a decision right now, or they're just feeling really overwhelmed about that transition. So I'd be curious as to what thoughts are coming up for you so that I can address that more personally. Metal Mark 12 says, snaps to Amanda for recognizing the song lyric. If I go crazy, will you still call me Superman? Delayed reaction. It's okay. Amish is from India. Well, hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes. David says, sharing is growth. Absolutely true. It's okay to make mistakes. We're only human. Thank you for the permission. I love this. David says, one of the top quotes, the biggest mistake in life is the fear of making mistakes. That's pretty powerful. That's very meta. I love it. Oh my God, David, you're ridiculous. David just must really want to see me freeze my butt off. You guys are ridiculous. I love you, and now I have to do this. You know, there's moments where you go, okay, I'm gonna do this because nobody's really gonna make me have to do this. And now I go, oh my God, I have to do this. And Vince says, oh my gosh, I love you guys. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. Random trivia. Ben says, thank you. Thank you, Ben. Random trivia because I have nothing topical to add. Calc is a loan word, and loan word is a calc. That is great. Nick says, do it. Do it. Okay. I'll do it. I'm going to do it, guys. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Okay. I'm going to do it after I run. I have to run. Oh, it's okay, Amish. It's okay if you don't donate. I appreciate you guys so much. We made the goal. We made the goal. So I'm excited to see what opportunities arise to be able to help people. I'll share it here on the next stream. I'll share it in the community. And I'll share a video of me freezing. I don't want to freeze my butt off, though. I like my butt. I think it's kind of cute. I'm going to freeze my ears off. I mean, maybe. I kind of like those too. What can I freeze off that I don't? I'm going to freeze my pinky off. But then I can't drink tea properly. I'm going to freeze my left pinky off. That's what I'm going to freeze off. Yes, Amanda's kind of going to do the polar plunge. Yes, yes, yes. David's right. Sharing a positive thought of encouragement is also helpful. Ben says, what a question. What would you freeze off? Yeah, this sounds like some kind of saw trap. What body part are you willing to give up? Thank you, Ice Kill. Oh, Eugene says, sorry I've been gone so long. My eyes just got better last week. Well, that's fabulous news. Snaps for you. Well, I want to say, I know that this is a big weekend for everyone. So if you guys celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful time, no matter what that means for you. If you're celebrating Easter, Passover, however you're celebrating this weekend, I hope that it is a beautiful time of rebirth and of peace. Holy crap. I was just making an Easter video. I felt like I just made my last Easter video. I don't think I'll make a video this Easter, but I feel like I was just making that video that feels like it was a few months ago. That just set into me that Easter is a few days away. And I was just making that video and a whole year has passed. And oh my God, I'm a year older. Oh, there's the anxiety thoughts. You just watched that happen in real time, guys. But seriously, I hope you have a wonderful time, no matter who you're spending it with, or if you're just lounging about. If you're not celebrating, you know what? Find another reason to celebrate. Celebrate anyway this weekend. Pick your own reason to celebrate. Go eat some cake. Erin made me some phenomenal vegan, gluten-free German chocolate cake because I've been I've been craving it for so long, and he made me some for my birthday. And it was so good, but now I have all this cake, and I think I'm just gonna become a fat kid, that I'm totally gonna go on this run, but I'm also gonna eat cake. I'm also gonna eat cake. It's all about balance, right? I can balance the cake platter on my hand. Thank you so much for all of cakes with lots of adjectives are hard to make. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for helping me make the goal. And we're about to hit 50,000. I think we'll probably actually hit 50,000 before the next stream, because it'll be in 2 weeks. I'll post the time and everything. It's always on Friday, every other Friday at 10 a.m., but I will start posting the time in case you guys are getting mixed up. I did throw a couple extra ones in there too, because Bryson had wanted to do one. By the way, I was going to do one because my birthday fell on Saturday, and I was going to do a stream that Friday just to kind of connect with you guys for some birthday energy, and got in a car accident with Aaron. So that was scary. Happy birthday to me, right? But we're fine. We're fine for the most part. And hopefully everything smooths over pretty quickly. But I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you soon. Mwah!